Imagine the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign as a landfill of fresh food. Better yet, imagine walking outside to the main quad and seeing thousands of pounds of consumable food as tall as Fullinger Auditorium rotting before your eyes. Food waste is a process that happens all over the United States. Let's ask ourselves what we need to do as a society to limit food waste. As citizens of the United States of America, we need to limit food waste because food waste is increasing in the United States of America. Let me explain further. Food waste is the process of disposing of consumable food items before their expiration date. According to an article published by the Natural Resource Defense Council in August of 2017, in 1970, the average American wasted 300 pounds of food a year. In 2017, the average American wasted 400 pounds of food a year. So from 1970 to 2017, there's a 50% increase in food waste. This is a drastic change. To put this in perspective, imagine going to McDonald's and buying 4 quarter pounders each day. And imagine yourself each day of the year throwing out those 4 quarter pounders. If you take the aggregate of those 365 days, that will equal to 400 pounds a year. Now, we tend to think that food waste happens at the retail, but this graph shows the contrary. If you look at the bar chart, the light blue is the consumer. We could see, and the dark blue is the retail. We can see that the consumers have a higher percentage chance of wasting food within their household more than the retail. So humans, us, we are solely to blame for food waste due to our consumer behavior. In the United States, food waste is the largest component of landfills. According to an article published by the Natural Resource Defense Council in February of 2019, food waste accounts for 1/5 of the global landfill, or 37 million metric tons. To put this in perspective, imagine filling your city-issued garbage can with 1/5 of fresh food every single day and just throwing it all out. This is the process of food waste that we are erroneously committing. But why is food waste dangerous? Food waste creates a large buildup of methane gas, which in turn harms the global Earth temperature. According to an article published by Cornell University Press in January of 2018, methane gas accounts for 10% of the global greenhouse gases. In addition, methane gas causes a 1-degree increase in temperature. For example, this drastic change in weather will cause droughts and ultimately harm farmers' crops. Now, why do we carry the burden? We carry the burden because ultimately if farmers' crops are destroyed, due to the law of supply, we will be having to pay more for food. So we will be harmed negatively financially because we have to pay more for food. Now, if we look at the solutions, now that we understand the problem, let's understand what a solution is. We need to start creating compost piles that limit methane gas buildup. First, let me explain what a compost pile is. A compost pile is a designated area where you can put your food waste where it can decompose. According to a report published by the United States Department of Agriculture in November of 2017, creating a compost pile will help consumers understand the scope of food waste at its core, the problem at its core. To put this in example, if we start building a food waste pile, a compost pile, we will understand what the problem is with food waste and how much we are wasting. Then we are able to evaluate ourselves and reflect on the future. Now, why would compost piles work? Compost piles will decrease the amount of food waste sent to landfills, which in turn will decrease methane buildup. According to an article published by the Natural Resource Defense Council in August of 2017, the collective effort of creating compost piles will help the United States decrease food waste by 50% by the year of 2030. 2030. So, if we work as a team, if we empower others to limit food waste by creating compost piles, this will cause less food to be sent towards landfills, and this will prevent methane gas. We need to take action to limit food waste by the year of 2030. Now, some students may ask me, or some of the audience members may ask me, what if we run into obstacles? What if? That is an understandable topic. Some people might say, I don't have time. Well, it takes 5 minutes just to save the world. We can all allocate 5 minutes of our time to make a better future. If you really do not have the time, I recommend creating a system that you can just throw the food out of your window and that is going to land in the compost pile to decrease the time. Another solution is, or another problem is, what if I don't have the space, or if I don't have a designated location for food waste? The best solution is to go and look up on this website, illinoiscompost.org, the resources, and that will tell you where you can go for a compost site. Now that you understand the solution, let's visualize what we could do for the future. Imagine protecting this land for our children, our future generations, so they can have farmland and we can protect our environments. Ultimately, this is a better world because we are protecting the food that grows on our fields. So what can you do to take action? Research the correct compost tactics. Create a 2x2 location in your backyard, 2 feet by 2 feet. Take 5 minutes out of your day to add food waste to your pile and apply the compost to plants. You all are leaders. You all have the ability to save the world, so I challenge you to make that change. Most importantly, share your experiences with your family, your friends, and the leaders. Let's bring food waste to an end, and let's save the world. Thank you.